We are doing mock draft roundup for this video. We're going to get into who the popular pick right now for the Detroit Lions at the 28th pick. That's seeing what the media believes the Lions are going to do there, and there is a trend in one direction, and I actually do agree with that trend. New Lions criticism growing for a player's contract for Detroit, and I think it's utterly ridiculous. We're going to get into that. And a Lions-Giants blockbuster trade proposal. Let's get it started right now. If you're a fan of the Detroit Lions, go ahead and subscribe to that channel. Why is that? Because we are a Lions channel, and we talk Lions 24/7, basically. And if you're a fan of that, you're a fan of, hey, what we do on here, right? It's all about Detroit Lions. Let's get into the weirdest thing here. I seen this article because I just want to cover it really quick. I don't think this is, I think this is odd. So we're getting criticism for the Derek Barnes contract. I still don't really understand that. Look, I understand that he was injured last year and he's got to prove himself, but he was really playing well the year that we went to the NFC Championship. He played really good in training camp, and then before and up until he got injured, he was playing at a high level. He was our Sam. He was the guy that was going to get some pressure, and it was a big hit to the Lions' linebacking room. I understand the contract may be a little bit higher than some expected, but I do trust that this is a fine contract. Derek Barnes is not an injury-prone player. It was just a incident that he had last year. It's not like it's throughout his whole career, and I'm 100% confident. I don't know if he'll play at the level he was, but he's going to play at a high level, and I'm not worried about the contract at all. But that's personally just me. What do you guys think? Are you worried about the contract? If you disagree, hey, that's what it's all about. This channel is about conversation and bringing this thing to the light. Let's get into seems like an unrealistic Lions-Giants blockbuster trade proposal. This is what he's talking about here. One potential name on target that could be a guy who selected 3 picks after Hutchinson in 2022 is Kayvon Thibodeaux. The New York Giants' edge rusher hasn't made an impact many thought he would in New York. Eclipsing 70 single-season PFF pass rush grade just once, but the situation could set the record straight with the fifth-year option decision looming. The subsequent extension, New York has a decision to make on what path forward to take with Thibodeaux. Would the Giants decide to maximize their trade value for Thibs? Now would be the time. Detroit has a structure in place to tap into the pass rusher's potential as well as the cap situation to facilitate an extension should the team decide to do so. Again, don't see this happening. The Lions didn't draft Thibodeaux for a reason. They decided to go with Aiden Hutchinson. That was the right decision. Thibodeaux, if you don't remember, he's a guy a little bit controversial. I'm telling you, that's not going to be someone that Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes are going to get. I've been saying this, that they're not going to be making some gigantic move for a trade. I mean, we would all love it, right? It just is not shown that he's going to do that at this moment. And I couldn't even imagine what it would take to get a Kayvon Thibodeaux. It would take a little bit of capital to get that. I don't see the Lions doing a move like this. I don't. And so, as much as we want to get that pass rusher, I do believe we're going to have to wait into the NFL draft to find the guy who's going to rush the passer. Because right now, you look at the free agent market, it's not so good. Again, like I always been saying, you still got after the draft, you got teams that cut down to the 53. Maybe someone gets released, right? This is right now until we start week 1. So there's a lot of time to go for week 1. But given the circumstances that we have not done a move like this yet, I don't see the Lions doing this. But what do you guys think? You think that, hey, maybe I'm wrong? I don't see it happening. Give me your thoughts in the comments. All right, folks, let's get into what the main topic of this video is about. And we're going to do one little topic after the main topic, and that's going to be talking about Detroit Lions fans. We're going to get into that. You're going to want to stay for what do you got to say about this. Mock draft roundup. Alabama offensive guard become trendy Lions target, and there's a reason why. Before we get into this, I'm going to tell you the reason why. You're going to say, there's no way. That's not going to be it. Well, you lose Kevin Zeitler, right? He goes in free agency, who's a starter. Kayvon Thibodeaux, not re-signed. You have Sorsdale, who hasn't proven anything. Giovanni Manu, a tackle who we think he's going to develop, right? But we don't know at this point. We haven't seen him really play, except for in a preseason or in training camp. So that gives you an idea. And Graham Glasgow is older, and he didn't play well last year. And best believe they love the offensive line. Now, do I want an edge? 110%. With that said, it's possible the Lions go offensive line, given that circumstance. So let's go with the roundup. Enough of me talking about that. Jihad Campbell, the Detroit Free Press, Dave Burkett's got him drafting. I don't know if this was before we signed Derek Barnes and the signings. I don't see them going Jihad Campbell now. I don't. I mean, could they? I mean, he literally, I guess they could, right? But just seems like that would be a stretch, given the depth that we have at linebacker currently. Generally, teams go 2 linebackers or 3. We got 3 starters, and it just seems unlikely at that point, right? I mean, but he could play all over the place. Maybe they would have a plan for him. Shermer Stewart, Texas A&M. He's been drafted by CBS Sports. Josh Edwards, I've heard him. I think it's less likely. Mike Green, I would love to get a Mike Green, and that's by Rog Rang. I still, in my personal belief system, with what the amount of sacks he put up, 17, he'll go higher. I like Mike Green. I do. I think that would be a great selection. What do you guys think? What would your selection be in the comments below? Wide receiver, Fox Sports, 33rd team. I think wide receivers off the board at 28. With Tim Patrick coming back, you got Jamison Williams, probably next year's extension. You have St. Brown that extended last year. I don't see them going wide receiver at 28. That would be 3 players. That would be a lot for a first round, well, not first round talent, but St. Brown was a first round talent, but he is one of the best receivers of football. Jamison Williams is going to get a big payday at some point, right? It just keeps going on to where it doesn't make sense to go wide receiver. You have the Luther, Burden, Missouri, Chris Trapasso. That's the reason why. Offensive lineman Donovan Jackson, he 100% could be a target. Donovan Jackson is a bully on the offensive line. I've made videos about him, talked about him. Interior, 100% is on the bucket. And it could be within the first 3 picks the first 3 rounds of the Lions draft. First round, second, or third round. They legitimately could go there. Edge James Pierce is presented to be drafted by the following: Mel Kiper Jr. and Joel Klatt. Yes, I seen the mock draft there. I think James Pierce is a stretch. I don't know if that's who the Lions would get. But honestly, I don't even know where he's going to be in the draft. He's all over the place. So I have my doubts. I don't know if that's a fit with what Detroit wants. Calvin Banks, Texas, yes, another prospect that's very possible. A lot of guards that the Lions could look at. Don't need to continue with that. Mikael Williams is presented by the following: Daniel Jeremiah. Is it a fit? Possible. Now, Derek Harmon, I like this as an interior defensive lineman. That's going interior too with Harmon from Oregon. I made a video about him. Great, be a great selection at 28 if they wanted to go in defensive line. But again, I don't know if that would do at 28 because you got to look at the contracts of, Lee McNeil. Levi Muzarik is on a prove-it deal right now, and if he does well, he probably could get Extenton and DJ Reader. Would they go that? Possible. Because they could cut DJ Reader after this year if they wanted to. Cornerback, I'm not even going to entertain it at this point. Ennis Rakestraw, Terrion Arnold, Amik Robertson, DJ Reed, and we just picked up Rocky Sin. Yeah, I don't see cornerback being on there. I don't even want to really get into that one, to be honest with you. Tyler Booker, Alabama. Yes, you're seeing the names go up, 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 up because of what I told you about Kayudi, what I told you about Zeitler. The offensive line actually now is a need, and I know a lot of people's going to be mad if they go line but 28. And best believe, what is one school Brad Holmes drafts from? What? Alabama. Where does he personally go to scout games? Alabama. Keep an eye on him 110%. Nick Scorton, 2, is up there. I would put Nick Scorton and Tyler Booker as the top 2 players, probably. Because we don't know who's going to be there at 28, but I think who would be there at 28, right? Now, look, if someone falls. Like, that's amazing. But if you're just going with what I think will be there. Kenneth Grant. Yeah, Grant would be a nice addition as well from Michigan. We've spoke about him. Gray Zabel, offensive line. Tyleek Williams. And Jack Sawyer. Now, Jack Sawyer, I love Jack Sawyer. That would be a trade back scenario at this point. I don't think they would take him at 28. Maybe they'd trade back a little bit into the second round, and I would be fine with that. I do like him as pass rusher, and I'm fine with trade back to pick up an additional assets if no one is there, right? Give me your thoughts on who the Lions are going to draft right now. All I know is I want the Detroit Lions to draft a werewolf with the 28th pick, and I think that's extremely important as we transition to what we all want, right? We want this team to win a Super Bowl. We want the best. And I love my subscriber fan base. They're awesome. They understand this. We all have different opinions. You may agree, you may disagree. I'm not smarter than you. Just a guy giving my opinion on YouTube. So let's talk about communist Lions fans. Folks, if you have an opinion, what I love about my subscriber base here is we talk, and we have conversations, and we're having a great time, and that's what it's all about, thoughts and processes. That's awesome. But, man, guys, it's okay to disagree. It's okay to agree to disagree. We all want the same thing. Don't be a Chad and mock people because they have difference of opinions. Mocking other people. Don't be do that, dude. We're better than that. We're Lions fans, right? Only the clowns are the one that tries to be the communist Lions fan. The ones that thrive to tell other people how to think. We all have opinions, folks. You're allowed to have an opinion. But, going crazy and ripping on people is ridiculous. And don't be a Chad ripping on a bunch of subscribers. That's absolutely ridiculous. And I seen it. It wasn't ripping on me. Hey, but I'm letting you know, stop ripping on my fan base, my subscriber base, because these guys are informed and they know what's going on. And they don't play with no. With that said, folks, adios.